It's time for another battle. Renegades versus Gambit now, here for the FACEIT Major Day 2. We're live from London, and it's time to see what this Australian core can do versus Gambit. Historically, it favours Gambit. However, there's a reason they're both here in the losers half of the day. 0-1. We saw Gambit fall to Tyloo in overtime, and Renegades couldn't handle big. In fact, it was a really easy 16-6. They really struggled to get going, at least at the start of that one. I'm joined here at the analyst desk, myself, Machine, but I do have none other than Sponge and the PIMP.
Feels like you're going to merge our names.
Yeah, but I didn't like where it was going to go. It was going to be like Simp, and I was like...
Simp or like Punge, but that would just be getting rid of the S in my name. So it's not really as exciting.
It's Simp, it's... Yeah, I hate it.
Anyway, we couldn't get anything done with that.
But what we can do is we can start talking about the Counter-Strike, because you know what? I just had this inner dialogue, but as we were kind of loading in, and I was like, okay, Renegades Gambit. My heart is telling me Renegades, and then I looked at the recent matchups. Gambit seemed to really beat Renegades almost every time they meet.
So I would have to cast my memory back to the MLG qualifier where we lost to Gambit on Train. This was with Hooch in game leading.
When you were in Renegades.
When I was still part of the team, and ever since then it just doesn't feel like they've ever really been able to beat them. I think that playstyle-wise, they should be very happy going up against a team like Gambit because they play quite passive, and Renegades, as a team that likes to set up and they can do their set strategies, should be able to take advantage of that passive play. But it is a more unorthodox style. It can be a little bit jarring, can be a little bit more difficult to play with or play against a guy like a Dren sitting in the back lines with an M4 just mowing 3 of you down from where old Bomb was, and you guys are coming out E-box and you're scratching your head. But if we look at the positives on the Renegade side in the recent times, at least we know in their boot camp, in their practice for this event, that they have had focus on different maps. And that might be the key to upsetting a Gambit.
But let's not forget, the Renegades, of course, find themselves 0-1 because of a map gamble. Or was that not the case? Have you spoken? Have you got further clarification?
I didn't talk to them anymore, and it wasn't a gamble. It was something that they played a lot in practice, and they felt comfortable on. So they went into that one, you know, feeling like they had a really good shot. And I think if they started on the CT side, maybe it could have been a little bit closer, but big in this tournament, even though they did lose to Vega earlier, are looking very, very well-rounded. And
it's no longer the 5-man Australian roster that you once knew. In fact, Renegades have evolved into a bit of a mix. We have the Jacob Norwegian presence, and we do, of course, have Nifty with that North American flag. Interesting combination.
Interesting combination. Overall, I'm glad you find a positive at this Renegades lineup. I'm finding it hard right now. I think it's been super, super disappointing to see them involved into a non-factor within the scene as of recently. We had them in Pro League where they did pretty well. We had them at Dallas, the Pro League finals, where we had some hopes for them. But ever since that event, it's just been going downwards and downwards and downwards.
Sure. I think, you know, it's hard to see where this team can find the right balance, because I always talk about them, say JKS and Azza need to be the 2 stars of this squad. But maybe that isn't the case. Maybe it needs to be Jacob and Nifty. Maybe they need to be the ones, you know, Jacob being the core rifler going in and wrecking heads, and then Nifty as the point man with the AWP. The problem that I see for these guys is the longer it takes for them to find their feet, it feels like another roster change will come in. You know, maybe Nifty will get disenchanted and get poached to go somewhere else. Maybe Jacob will have enough of living in North America. It doesn't really have context on this match right now, but for those people at home, I have had a few people tweet at me going, is Azza in-game leading? He's sitting in the middle? No, he's not.
No, just mixing up the same positions just a little bit.
As far as I'm aware, he's not.
Nifty still in the leadership role. And who do they go up against? Well, it's Gambit, who have had their fair share of ups and downs. And in fact, if you're only watching the majors, you may consider them more ups than they are downs. But it's been a bit of a bumpy ride for Gambit to get back here to the FACEIT Major. And at the moment, you have seen some real peak performances from players like Mo. He had such a good game in their loss. I know it sounds silly, but in that overtime game versus Tyloo, some of the individuals from Gambit were truly hitting hard.
The problem is it happens once every month, right? Especially for a guy like Mo. And I think, afraid of repeating myself of what I just said with Renegades, it's the same thing with Gambit. It's just a team that hasn't been doing anything positive within the Counter-Strike scene compared to how good they should be, compared to the material they have to work with in terms of players, skills, experience. It's just been a lackluster, I would say a lackluster year for them throughout. So Gambit is in the same spot right now where they need to have a positive experience here at the Major. They need to do something. They brought in Blade, they tried to put a little bit more structure on this team. They still have the problems in terms of who's in-game leading, who should be in-game leading, who wants to in-game lead. Like the ever so lovely question that they can't figure an answer to. Got Murray in as well. It's just been a... I don't know, I want to use the word shit show. It really hasn't been great for Gambit.
Look, I think when you look at this roster, a year ago, they won the Major. They were our major champions a year ago, and ever since then it's just been a long downward spiral. It hasn't gotten better at any point. It may have stabilized, but at no point has it looked like they would be a return to a team that took the biggest and most coveted trophy in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, of course, things and leadership. You say they're looking for a leader now. They lost their leader after that success, and it's interestingly enough, you know, we have got a team here that are coming from the Boston Legends, of course, who couldn't make top 8, but from the previous major. And then you've got the Asian Minor, which is where we often see Renegades make their way to this big event.
They're pretty good at that event.
And they're great at those events.
You know, that's where we get our bread and butter from.
Yeah,
that's the baseline.
And talking of bread and butter, the bread and butter of Gambit and Renegades in the head-to-head. It's brought to you by the Predator. The hunt has evolved.
It's been a long time since that first Predator movie came out.
It has. It's been a while. Chad, do you remember that one? Go to the cinema with your popcorn?
I don't think I went to the cinema. I may have been a bit young. But Nifty is a young gun.
He is a young gun.
For people who don't know, he hasn't been playing Counter-Strike for really that long period of time. He was a console Call of Duty player, and now he's in one of the better teams in the North American region. These are the two AWP players, Mo and Nifty. Now, depending on the matchup, these guys could be instrumental. We are banking and having Mo up on the screen because of the impact that Alex alluded to earlier in the tournament. If he can carry that through to this game, then Renegade's going to find themselves in trouble because normally they do struggle against a good AWPer.
They do struggle against a good AWPer. Problem is for Renegades, Nifty was that good AWPer they had. You know, he was I would say he was the catalyst behind this Renegades upswing they had throughout Pro League and throughout the Dallas finals as well. He was having some really good series, some really good showings, and it was even talked about him joining Cloud9 as a potential replacement for Skadoodle. Whereas today, it just seemed like ever since there were those rumors, whether those were right or not, it hasn't been looking good for neither Nifty or Renegade. So it is really a team in disarray, and I'm sad to be so negative up here and talking about both teams as they have a lot to prove, but it's just the fact right now that both teams are not playing their best brand of Counter-Strike.
And the maps will make a big determining factor in finding out who's going to be going into that 1-1 category.
So Gambit have opted to go with the A seed here, which means that they will be choosing the map, and that'll give Renegades the choice to decide. So Renegades will have 3 bans here in a row, and then the choice of map will go to Gambit. So that's how this one's going to... They've not gone for Overpass again. They feel that experiment is already done and dusted. Okay. Nuke is gone. That is always one of their perma ban as far as history tells. It hasn't been worked on in the boot camp.
Or cash?
So I think Renegades actually historically over the last couple of years have played Gambit on both of those maps, and it doesn't feel like, if my memory serves me, have been successful at all. These are 2 maps where the riflers, especially the Adrens and Doziers of the world, are able to sit in the back lines and really take these fights. And that is good that we had that AWP head-to-head because Train on more AWP-heavy maps in the pool.
Now, I don't know if you guys at home heard it, but I certainly saw it. A sigh from Jacob.
Just tired of seeing Train. We haven't had cash throughout this entire time.
I would love a cash.
We haven't had cash, and it makes sense for Gambit not to pick into cash. If there's one thing I do remember from playing in N8, it was practicing Renegades on cash, and you don't want to do that. So definitely a map they know how to play, especially you Steelo, just running around doing his stuff. So it makes sense to go with Train. It's just a little bit sad that we see the same map over and over again. And for Renegade's sake, I'm a little bit sad on their behalf that they have to go up against Mo, because if there's one map he plays well, it's Train.
There has been a lot of time that has passed since the IEM Sydney event, but that's where JKS took up the mantle of the secondary AWPer, and this was one of the maps where he had impact towards that inner bomb site, playing very passive with the AWP, and Nifty was AWPing in the yard and then rotate in and have the retake on that site. So that's going to be something that we'll see if they're going to continue within their playstyle, if Gambit are going to have heads up for it. But notice the way that Gambit play their CT side. A lot of the time, it's quite passive. It's quite in the back lines, and they're happy to take those long-range duels, which do make things a little bit more awkward because they're not super close when the executes come in, which means, look, even if they get the smoke wall, they're more than happy to retake. No one's getting isolated. No one's getting caught out alone.
Yes, and I think what's actually very interesting is that Train is one of the 2 maps that we haven't seen these 2 teams play. I've said that with absolute confidence, and I already know.
Do you mean against each other?
No. What I was trying to say is they haven't played Train this year. That's just let's just skip all the nonsense.
Okay.
Neither of these teams have played Train against each other this year.
Sure.
They've played them on Overpass. They've played Cash, Mirage. They've played all those maps against one another. This is new territory for them, at least in an official capacity.
And that's a statement to what you were saying. They probably have been working on the Trains at the boot camp, because normally you wouldn't want to go up against a team like Gambit on Train. You said it yourself. Mouse sitting back with AVP. Basically, they're just playing Train a little bit unorthodox in what you normally see. Teams trying to be aggressive on the CT side, just getting map control. We're going to see a little bit of that with Hoppin, maybe a little bit of that with Adrian. But overall, it's going to be one of those games where if Nifty cannot find a key to unlock Mo's success with AVP, they're going to have a super rough time.
Yeah, and it's going to be a rough time for you, because I'm going to force a prediction out of you. You've highlighted that there are some footfalls for both. It's prediction time.
I think if I predict against Renegades, they'll win.
Ooh, looks like Jason and Anders were split. What are you saying?
I'm going to go with Gambit so that Renegades win.
Oh, because you always, when you go for them, they lose.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay, so we've got a reverse jinx coming out from Chatty B. What about you, Jakey W?
I'm gonna go with Renegades so Gambit can win.
Oh, okay. Well, we've neutralized each other. So Alex, you get the final say.
Oh, so I decide who wins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, pressure. I think
There's more people in Russia than there is in Australia. Think about that.
Gambit will win.
Well,
So
Renegades winning.
Did I tell you against Renegades win?
are you doing the jinx thing too?
I don't even know. Maybe.
Okay.
Who knows? We'll find out. Of course, don't forget to tweet along with all of this with the hashtag FACEITMajor, by the way. But anyway, sounds like your casters are ready. A split casting desk, and I'm going to force you to explain your answers like that teacher that Jason wishes he was. Jason, over to you.
How is he going to force us? How is that? Is that some sort of threat?
He actually like triggered my OCD a little bit. Well, actually, I don't even have OCD, but it's just what you say when, you know, it could have been Renegades, Gambit, Renegades, Gambit, Renegades.
Oh yeah.
He screwed that up.
Broke the pattern. That's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Gambit's gonna win. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in Renegade at the moment. I haven't seen them like play that great recently, and I think they're like, you know, they just seem to be eternally disappointing in majors. You know, they've been to this stage so many times, they've never gotten out of groups.
Yeah, and that's
in
a
the
good
majors.
point.
And I think Adren looked great yesterday. So did Mo. I think they're gonna be, you know, yeah,
Right.
they're gonna be good.
And they have. I mean, I almost feel sad for picking Renegades now, just because I forgot. I mean, I hadn't forgot, but I really like watching Mir play. So
Yeah.
there's always that too. I don't really know. I think this is a pretty close game, and we're on train, and I just think it's going to be an interesting match. But
I think the longer as well that Gambit has Blade behind him, I think we're gonna see Gambit improve.
yeah,
More and more. The longer that kind of that coach relationship exists. So as long as that's the crazy thing about this Gambit team is like it does just feel like, you know, in a certain way, like they went from having Adren and Hobbit being some of like the best players in the world to like
Yes.
just like disappearing. And I feel like as soon as those guys come back, and we've already seen it out of Adren, we're seeing a little bit out of Mo. At some point, there's going to be enough space created, enough opportunity for Hobbit to get back in the swing of things as well. And that really excites me. Freeze time is over. We are here on day 2 of the FACEIT Major in London. We have Gambit taking on Renegades. This is what, an 0-1 matchup as well?
Yes, it is. So quite a lot on the line here. You don't want to be 0-2 right off the bat in the groups. That's never going to be a fun time. Renegades are playing on the CT side and Gambit on the T side. They have a smoke and a Molotov. I always like watching for that Molotov on train. It doesn't always mean that it's going to be one of those late B plays. You can use a lot of spaces, but it's always fun when it happens. So I guess we'll just see. Azza taking a quick peek, but doesn't really feel the pressure yet, and no reason that he should. Over on this side, though, JKS, that's a pretty aggressive position, and see if he can get trapped in here. I mean, even if he gets a kill, he could end up in a position where he can't actually get out. So right now, he's just waiting, and Mir is right in front of him. Now he's been spotted that jump up. He makes it back around the corner. I'm almost shocked that he stays around, but he's finally going to fall back. Good map control for Gambit, though.
Yeah, really good map control. They don't lose any HP doing it. It also pulled Jacob back, who had just rotated to the outer yard to stack up 4 players here. It shifted the defense. Nifty came in as well. They have shown presence out towards Ivy, which is going to keep this defense honest outside. So they should be able to hit this bomb site inside, this B site, with only JKS to be close up behind the bomb train. This is where that Molotov, you can use that to put it in towards connector, follow it up with a smoke, or just do it in this fashion. Block off rotations. They're going to get aggressive down sidewalks. They need to clear out JKS's position. He's going to hold on to the Molotov as well.
Yeah, let's see if he could use it a bit later on. These blind shots going through the smoke, not connecting with anything. And now JKS down on the low ground. Oh my god, what a great double. He even gets that last one. Bit of an assist from Jacob, but still absolutely shutting down this push from the Gambit side. The beautiful defense being put up here from JKS. Now Hobbit and Dozier are the only two left. 2 on 4. The bomb will go down, and Hobbit, I mean, it would be... I don't even know what it would take to come back into a round like this one. Dozier doing the best that he can with a Glock, and Molotov not going to make a difference, even if he got it. I guess it would prevent them from getting it. Is it burning on the ground, weirdly, even though he didn't actually throw it?
I think that's just the wick being lit. That's how they work. Would have been cool if it landed like bottom standing up straight, like that trick shot that people do with the bottles these days, that all the kids are doing.
You don't encourage the kids to do it with Molotovs, Moses. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
That's a fair point.
Just stay out of that territory.
Back away slowly. What a sequence from JKS. That is one of the most nerve-wracking positions as well, especially on a pistol round. When they're turning that corner, you know they're going to wrap upon you, and your teammate is blocked off by smoke. He can do nothing to help you, and it's just you against 3, and JKS pretty much gets them all. A little bit of help with his teammate on that third one when he eventually does get in. The plant is actually would have allowed a third round bye, but they go for an upgrade here. They go for it. Deagles, CZs, and the scout on Mo. So Gambit already back into the action.
Yeah, I want to keep up the pressure, and they're slightly fortunate in the fact that there's a UMP and just the USP there on Nifty, but I still feel like that's enough firepower maybe for Renegades to hold on to all of this anyway, so we'll see how that works out. But it is fun if you can surprise the enemy team and they have worse guns than they normally would have if they had known about the buy. Leg shot there on, or might have actually been a body shot from the scout on JKS, down to 12 health. He's not loving it at all. He's going to fall all the way back. See if they can get the bomb plant down at least. They feel quite safe in just peeking around and looking for these entries.
They want Mo to have a chance to get a pick with that scout, so they're going to give him some time to scope in. The tough part is you have to make sure you're not making too much noise in these box halls. Yustillo pushed up underneath the ladder can have a lot of information pretty quick. There's so much utility as well. Dren's going to start rotating around. He's over in team mid. Jacob is pulled away. There's a little bit of smoke, a little bit of utility used outside, and Jacob, yeah, that nade is going to do some decent damage, but he's got to get into the bomb site. It actually doesn't do as much as I thought, and he's gone. JKS going to nade the planter. Not going to finish him off, and this is a great recovery, a great rebuttal for Gambit.
I'm so confused. How did the grenade stop mid-air? It looked like it just went half the distance that it should have. I don't even understand. You're still falling back. He's going to get hunted down from Hobbit. What an aggressive play, being on 4 health, but it works out beautifully, and Doja should be close enough. Could have maybe got that kill, but Mia will follow it up, and now it's JKS and Nifty left 2 on 4, and this hit is looking great for the Gambit team. Beautiful entry. Nice slow pace here to make sure they don't make any mistakes, and yeah, now it's just Nifty going to have to run for it with the M4. What a turnaround.
That one hurts. That is not great for the Renegade side of things. They get obliterated. An M4 is salvage as well. A FAMAS, 2 rifles go over for free. Nifty. It'll be interesting to see if Renegades actually want to force bind this next round, because Nifty has 4,200. He was actually saving up. That's an M4. I believe that was his teammate's M4.
Yeah.
He's saving for the AWP, so he's got enough money to drop if they want to go for 2 rifles. That'd be a big, big investment early on in the economy, though. This could be tough. This could actually cripple Renegades for the first, 5 or 6 rounds of this half if they can't turn this in their favor, because they are going to go for it. 2 M4s on the board, upgraded pistols. The CZs are out. Not a lot of utility, no kits.
What has happened to Counter-Strike, Moses? We've been talking about this so much, I feel like, in the past week or so, just how teams like to force again. It's made its way back into the game. We'd got past this stage all the way back in, like, 2015, and now it's back.
It is back. Blame it on the French teams, can't we? They're the ones who kind of started it way back when.
I do like blaming the French, but I don't know. I feel like we can't really do that anymore.
At this point, it's just everyone.
Yeah, it's just everyone, isn't it? Let's see if it works out. If it works out, then
this is what happens when you don't vaccinate your children from force buys. JKS taking down Hobbit up top, and now going to swing around the back, and he's still alive. This is great. Nice movement. He's going to stall this out. Time for a fast flank as well. Yustillo's going to come up with the flames, force him to the open. Oh, what a recovery. Nifty, that's beautiful. Covering his teammate, and this might have been far too fast for Gambit, and that flank creeping ever closer.
Yeah, a couple of more seconds, and this round is going to completely disintegrate for Gambit. They'll have no idea. Doja does turn around. See, he had the idea. It's heads-up play from his point of view, but might not be in time. You're still going to come in with a big double to shut down Adren and Doja both. Mo up here. Just no real chance, obviously.
That is such a needed win from Renegades to be able to take that back. Like I said, so much invested. Now they get a free AK-47. This is a beautiful turnaround. Unfortunately, Doja watching the flank, he just didn't have the health to kind of jump up and actually take that fight on Yustillo. It's a really tough situation, as you can just hear him taking out your teammate, but you know no matter what, you're going to fall as well. Flashbang goes down, and yeah.
We've trapped ourselves in Moses. Now we have to thank the French instead, because this actually worked out for Renegades.
It's backfired. It's all gone wrong.
What have we done? So, I'm going to say it anyway. I still think it was a questionable decision for Renegades, even if it worked out. But
that's how all decisions in Counter-Strike work these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can question a lot of them.
But now that it has worked out, Gambit are going to force up the other way instead, even without the bomb plant. Less crazy, perhaps. 3 AKs and some CCs. They can make this work.
I think the key to it is the utility that you get behind the force buy. That's what always makes me scratch my head. Is if you're just upgrading CZs and you can only have a flashbang, you kind of question why. But if you can get utility and actually have some decent executes, or actually use them to put you in positions to take a decent fight with the pistols, then you start to feel a little bit more comfortable with it.
Who did damage to Mo in this round?
That was over towards Ivy. I believe it was a nade, and so was the follow-up on the Hobbit. So
no, Yustillo still has all of his nades.
Aza?
Either he must have run into the... I don't think so.
Aza, I think that might have been his name.
Okay, well, someone find that out for me. Because
There's an explosion on the ground right there. Could be a flashbang, of course.
I was worried that it was a friendly nade. I feel like it might have been. Maybe I'm just making it up. We'll find out later. Stay tuned.
Well, Doja's going to go for a challenge out Ivy. He's all the way at the end. I think this is just going to be a pop flash to the right side, and we'll see. It's kind of a 50-50 decision for Doja. You know, they actually smoke off. There's the pop flash. Aza blind. He hears the footsteps, though. He's going to communicate to his teammates that Doja's out. This would be a great fight for him to win. They need an opening from somebody.
Oh man, it's really rare you can get this deep in towards the bomb site from Ivy. Almost every single time you're going to have a fight already. He's just waiting here. That was his big moment. You're still practically shooting under the train. He's a monster right now, taking down Mira as well. And look at him just bouncing all over the ladders and everything, trying to make sure he can be as mobile as possible. I don't know how this is turned around back in Gambit's favor. How have Renegades gone and thrown this round into... Well, they haven't thrown it away yet, but it's getting damn close. JKS... If he sticks around, might get a chance here. Remember, you can shoot under the train. We saw that earlier. He wants to do it a little bit. He's going to get that first fight, and now Mo's on the other side, very low on health, and JKS not quite sure where to position himself. He's got no kit, no smoker or anything, so he's going to have to force that fight against Mo somehow, which is not always so easy. And Mo taking up position behind the E-box, which is just where JKS got the kills. That might be the last place he's going to look for that second player. And he's wasted a lot. Oh, the timing. If he'd looked the other way just a couple of more seconds, that would have been it. They get the round, but that should have never been that close. What was going on there?
A Hobbit with the double kill out of ladder room really opened things up. Yusilo did a phenomenal job because Doja was being very passive and very patient with his attempt at an entry, just kind of biding his time. Oh, they lined up for him. That's unfortunate. Right through the teammate's body, and this was a big one. Hobbit peeking out, and Mo, I just don't think he really realized where JKS was. JKS was so slow in that retake, he kind of lost track of where Mo could have gone. He could have been so many different places, but I think equally it's interesting to know that, or to note that Mo just as nervous in that scenario with where JKS could be searching. So going for an early peek before even tapping the bomb, and JKS gets away with one. Still great damage done to the economy of Renegades, but the AWP is out on Nifty, and we know what he can do with that weapon.
Still low. Almost getting his toes blown off. We've already had that conversation, Moses, about toe replacement surgery.
Yeah, we don't need to go back there.
No? I'm still curious if it's a thing. It must be. Hobbit making a fair bit of noise, but again, they have Deagles, and Renegades are happy so far, at least, to give them brown holes, Ivy. They're not really pushing into main. Like, no aggression really out of the CT side. You don't have to, but it's worth noticing. Are they trying to teach you how to throw these grenades? I think Doja is being taught in-game. It's a live kind of course that we've been on. The grenade course, Moses.
You don't like to see that. Ooh.
I don't know. It seems like... Oh, no. It was perfect. So there's nothing wrong with the actual coursework here.
Well, it also is unfortunate there's two players inside there, so even though they're just holding down the trigger, possibly very blind, with two players spamming that wall, there's really not a whole lot of space for the...
This is like bringing your textbook to the exam and just reading it like 5 minutes outside, just thinking, listen, I just need to catch up on some of the Civil War history. Let's just see if I can memorize all of these dates. And then
we used to have a couple classes that did open book exams. Those were cool.
How are the exams then?
Well, because, I mean, you only had like an hour to complete it, so if you're looking up every single answer, you know, then you're going to run out of time. Theoretically.
Listen, I've always had my questions about American education, Moses. I'm not going to lie, but...
Not everyone, just, you know, some of them.
All right.
Simulates the real world. You're going to have Google wherever you go these days.
Yeah, I remember my teachers used to tell me that I'd never have a calculator everywhere I go. So I had to learn how to do math. And it turns out they were wrong.
Yep. 4-1 Renegades in the lead, and now we've got a dueling AWP out on the T side. Waiting for some kind of aggression towards the box halls. That's not going to come. Nifty supporting JKS inside, and the AWP is...
Just for the younger audience, we didn't have cell phones back then, just so that people know. That's how old I am.
We did have actual calculators, though.
We did have those. And you could install games on them. Snake and stuff. It's amazing.
It's good stuff.
Listen, I didn't want to bring you out of it. We'll get back to the game now. It's 4-1. I thought people needed to know. I was worried.
You did pull me out of the dark hole that was my job. That's pretty cool.
I love the smoke. Doja, he's gonna smoke the inside of the B bomb site on the connector. It's a really, really cool idea. See if Nifty's going to actually get... If they just wait for it, if they go too soon, then Nifty's probably going to shut somebody down, but it should land right around his position. No, instead he gets the kill, and I don't know what that smoke... Yeah, it's a little bit further back than I was expecting, so big opening for Nifty. He definitely makes the best of it. Getting Mir killed as well now, 4 on 3. A lot of damage onto Doja. Jacob going to be going down. Good shot from Hobbit. No flank this time, and a 3 on 3, and they're having a little bit of trouble actually getting through the C connector right now. They're just slowed down a bit.
Oh, the peek from Hobbit. He got a bit antsy, and now Nifty going to be up top. He's doing so much damage, but finally picked off. Finally gets taken down by Mo, who's wrapped all the way around, and Ustilo, he's a little bit sneaky. I don't think he has a chance for this, though. He's been spotted now. Yeah, he's been tagged up, and he's trying to bail out with this rifle. Doja's not going to let it go, though. Doja's not going to let him be. But he still gets away with that op, and Doja's going to find him in the end. Hunts him down. Great round from Nifty. 3 kills and even a tag there at the end on Mo, who wins that duel. But a second round finally.
Makes you wonder, since he was having such a big presence on that bomb site, how come the rest of Renegades couldn't get into play in the afterplant? It just seemed weird. So that's unfortunate, but great news for Gambit. They were having such a good start, and they got slowed down a bit. But the Renegades economy, even if they've been winning, what, 3 rounds in a row?
Yeah, it's not established.
No, they can't even buy.
Yeah, they got beat up there a little bit, so that's tough for them. Even with 4 players surviving in the previous round. So, actually, excuse me, 0 players surviving even in a win. So, here we go.
Oh no, Adren.
That's awkward. Now he knows it. They all kind of got confused. The timing wasn't there, but a great push inside. Aza with the AK-47.
You don't see that all the time. Sadly for them, the only one holding here is USP, and that's Nifty. And that's going to be really hard to stop the rest of the Gambit team. So they get the kill, they get the AK picked up. I don't know if they want to try and fight to keep it alive. Right now, it feels like Azza wants to maybe try and see if he can do more damage to the economy of Gambit. Certainly possible. He's listening for that bomb, which should be going down any second. Yeah, there we go. A bit of a delay.
I think he needs to just bail out. Don't worry about the economy of your opponents. You got to establish your own first and foremost. This AK can go a long, long way to helping out. Maybe just have another op. Save some money of buying up that expensive rifle. He's going to get the kill, and this should be a fallback, and he's going to stick around inside of the flames. Aza trying to make it doable, and actually, he had the right idea, and they even lined up for him. But if he had one-tapped that faraway player, then he's got a real shot all of a sudden. So I'll eat my words on that one. Great attempt from Aza.
Yeah, that should be... Get your team a little bit fired up, right? Seeing your teammates suddenly hitting those kind of shots.
Battling to that degree.
You appreciate that. 4-3 now. And moving into round number 8. That AWP back in the hands of Mo, and Renegades. They can buy in this round, no problem. But I don't know. I feel like they're starting these rounds well and ending them badly.
They have had a couple of rounds, you're right, where they have started off and then kind of faded away and kind of let some things slip. As you said, you know, it seems some of those faraway battles have been great once some of these mid-range ones come out, and I think a lot of that has to do Hobbit, 6 kills, Doja, 5 kills. They're doing very well. So is Mo with 5 of his own. Adren's still a little bit quiet, but some life out of the Gambit players. They've done a pretty good job of putting themselves in position. Tactical timeout is all over for the Renegades. We'll see what they have. No kits on that CT side. Sending 4 players outside to contend with any fast-paced rush that might come, and it's a good call. Mir's already out. Adren's going to follow it up. Actually, no, excuse me. Mir's going to be content to get to that Olaf corner. Adren with the pop flash. He spots out Jacob. He's going to swing wide on it. There's a good trade, and Mir's already making his way. They have no idea. Aza, thankfully, he wins that fight, but Mir's going to push up even more. Aza's aware, but he can't stop it.
Yeah, he heard that. So really good awareness from Asa, but it's just not enough to actually get that second kill. Still, it could have been much worse, as you said. Nifty holding one angle. JKS with a headshot on Dren. Looking much better now. And Mir hoping for the angle. He just wants to see if he can get the kill on somebody on that bomb site. But the bomb is now dropped out there behind the E-box. And Mo going to find the kill on Nifty. Brings it back into 2-on-2. Good repositioning from Ustilo. He's walking all the way back there. That could be huge.
There's over a minute remaining, though. JKS still waiting as well. This is a big, big play. Does Mir have the timing on it? He hasn't gone that deep. He's got to be careful. He's going to get caught with his back turned. There it is. That's unfortunate for him. Great job, as you said, the reposition from Ustilo. They were worried more about JKS from Ladder Room, who's now going around to meet up with his teammate in Connector. So it's going to be confusing. It's going to be so difficult for Mo to realize where both these players are. He's got a fast shot, though, so he can do it if given the opportunity.
feel like in this kind of situation, you almost just have to put the bomb down and hope that they don't push you, and then see what happens afterwards, because you can't really fake out 2 people easily on this bomb site. There are so many positions they could be in. He's got 19 seconds, and if he doesn't do it now, eventually he's going to run out of time. Just tapping it once, and going to be back at it now. I think, yeah, he's left so little time, and they could see him right under. So, good round from Renegades. Good recovery, at least.
Great mobility across the map. Yustilo with that first one through CT spawn to the outback, and then also, I mean, meeting up in towards Connector. You could see Mo was not even concerned about Connector. He knew one had gotten a kill in ladder room. He knew one had gotten a kill in this position. Wasn't even considering Connector to be anything to worry about. Renegades keeping that lead, however narrow, 5-3, and they get a double up setup out of it. So all they have to do now, not always as easy as it sounds, but just avoid taking too much damage. Don't fall too much to these deagles. 3 smokes and a flashbang for this attacking side.
Yeah, definitely should be possible, although there are a lot of people down Pop Dog. This could be a pretty aggressive attack. If you put a lot of people running out into the yard, they're going to be there pretty quick and could definitely catch people off guard. Seems like they've started to fall back a bit, some up the ladder again, and now they've lost 2 players, so whatever plans they had on the Gambit side, going to be very hard to follow up on now, certainly. 5-on-3. They're just waiting for some backup to maybe try and take that peak. They almost lined up for a double.
Now, JKS with an AWP in this round should kind of be a signal to Gambit. They should be saying in their head, well, Nifty's usually the AWPer, so if JKS has got one, we have to go into this next round assuming it's a double op setup. Clean sweep for Renegades. I mentioned they had to keep their economy going. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Gambit going to have to invest into this round, even though Adren and Doja are kind of right on the cusp. They're going to be able to get AK-47s with no utility, but 3 players should be okay.
You know what they say about assuming, Moses?
Yes, what do they say, Anders? I know what they say. I'd like to hear you.
It makes an ass out of you and some guy named Ming. It's, I mean, how do they deal with the double up, though? What's the plan? How do you get rid of it? How do you make it less effective?
You get into a bomb site, which they've done a couple times. We've seen some of their executes towards that inner site, especially towards inner. It can be very, very difficult to retake. Now, you are kind of gambling that the ops can do damage before you get the bomb down and get into post plants. But you do want to force the ops into uncomfortable situations. Take care of the riflers. You can do those smoke walls outside that pretty much isolates the ops from having any kind of an impact.
We'll see if they're going to be successful. I mean, I guess in that sense, it would be nice if they had a bit more utility. I mean, they've got most of it. Maybe lacking some Molotovs.
I'd like to see them do one of those classic plays, if they're going to attack inner, that one towards where you kind of molly off Connector. You don't smoke it, and you molly it off, and you just push up along sidewalk and get aggressive and just take control of that area. I think that'd be very fun.
See if they're going to be able to. JKS holding that B ramp from the low ground. You're still hearing a little bit. Just seeing the feet. Just a quick check from Mo, I believe. This time a bit more aggression on the Renegades side down at Ivy. Even just throwing that grenade around the corner means that might put some pressure on Gambit to reconsider what's going on. They've had this part of the map free, more or less. Good trade from Hobbit. That was almost a free kill there for JKS, but now it's causing a lot of rotation on the CT side.
Yeah, it was a very critical trade. Weak into the outer bomb site. Nifty's going to be far back. Yustilo, though, is the X factor here for Renegades. The fact that he's able to stay in ladder room with relative safety is huge. This is what gives them the confidence to rotate both rifler or 2 riflers inside to the B. Stacking up the defense there on Gambit. Just past a minute. Still haven't made their decision yet. Lining up for the smokes outside, and here they come. But again, Yustilo, if he stays alive, if he does not fall, Renegades are going to be just fine.
Nifty getting the kill on Doja. Definitely big news for them. Renegades, they are looking to take round number 7 here. 4-on-3 with only 30 seconds. Adren right through the smoke to take down Nifty. That's a big find and the perfect timing against Yustilo. Grenade actually hit him. I think he collided with it slightly. Now Azza and Jacob, and oh, good recovery there from Jacob, almost getting taken out, and they double up on him. Now, can they get the bomb plant down without being exposed to Azza? That's a big question. Right there, the spray is through. Mo surviving on 8 health, and he's going to get a chance to get the bomb down just for the extra money. That could have been very bad. If he got the kill there and the bomb is dropped out in the open, he just falls back into the safety of Pop Dog, and it's a pretty uncomfortable fight.
This kill from Adren is so important that he just gets that blind through the smoke. I think Gambit might have missed one of their smokes or miscommunicated maybe. It didn't have, those two smokes towards the outer bomb side landed like pretty much right on top of each other. I think one was maybe on the plant spot on top of the train and one was on the right side. I guess maybe that's not a miss smoke, but I mean, choosing not to smoke the left side of that train and then you're going to give Nifty kind of a wide open shot, a wide open eyes on the entire yard. So maybe just a decision that's made that obviously didn't pan out as well as they wanted, but Adren is there to recover. It
feels like if you weren't going to smoke that side of the train, at least you would have more people coming out of Pop Dog so that you could take that fight.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They only had one guy who was sort of surfing around on the ladder for a while. So 6-4. This game is still staying very close. I feel like all the time Renegades are really close to being able to run away with it economically, but they're not being allowed to. And Gambit are holding on to this T half, or this T side really tightly right now.
Which is great. It's exactly what you need. Look at this economy from Renegades now. It's not up on the screen, but all 5 players at $0 after this purchase. So, I mean, this is about as broke as you get if Renegades cannot win this round. Gambit can deliver a nice little kidney punch if they're able to win this round. 3 players towards Ivy. Azza, the only one looking for it. He's just shoulder peeking. Utility going to be used, allowing Doja and Hobbit to get towards the end, and Azza and Nifty watching from the back of the trains. If they get split in this outer yard, they're in some trouble.
One flashbang to set it up, almost lined up for that double. Nifty will get returned upon. Gambit seem to be really good at that, just instantly returning some of these frags, keeping them in every single round. And Azza trying to stay as small as he can on top of the train, doesn't want to get shot in the back of the head from main, where Jacob is currently holding, and you can tell really important there. If he goes down, Azza has to cover a bit more space. He's still focused on this, but there's the shot from the back of the head. Mir able to pick him up, and that's what happens when you lose that main control. JKS and Ustillo now 2-on-3. See if they can hold on to it here, and it doesn't look likely anymore. JKS alone.
That is a tough angle to read for Ustillo. Mo watching the flank down ladder room from Ivy. You're not going to clear that too much. The longer JKS doesn't take action, the closer Gambit's going to get to be realizing that this is still a possibility. I think he had him fooled with that first kill going down. There it is. Mir had low HP, so not the biggest loss in the world. A 1-on-2. JKS might just want to go for it. Actually, I think he kind of has to in this situation.
Yeah, but he's probably thinking that they might have run to B. Actually, I think that was quite a somewhat logical step for him, but yeah, if he'd been there straight away, maybe he could have caught somebody off guard, just running in with the bomb out or something like that. But
I was actually kind of worried for Gambit because that hit was going well, but there were 2 players, Ustillo and I think it was Jacob, were playing in the ladder room at the time. There were 2 players in there, so if they had come out, they might have been able to shut down that front half of the attack. Fortunately, 1 came out, 1 stayed in.
Great news for Gambit. That's 5 rounds now on the T side, and I think we've all seen by now how hard it could be even picking up any rounds on the T side on this map. Could really get shut down quite heavily, and Renegades were up to the double AWP stage with all the grenades and everything else. So impressive, I would say, for Gambit to find a way to still make this happen, and Renegades need to find a way to control this. Yeah, I mean, he's got just too many angles to cover at that point. Like, as soon as Jacob, I think it was, goes down by the E-box,
yeah,
that's just no fun.
I think this should be an easy round for Gambit. I imagine Renegades at the moment is saying pretty much go for a full save. They're going to have a 3-round bonus, which will be 2,400, so most of them will be sitting right around, 40, 44, 4,600-ish to buy.
To do math.
Yeah. I risked it. I thought I'd go for it. I'm living life on the edge.
Not live on stream, but you know how that works.
Yeah, you just tell me your relationship with your math teachers consisted of telling them you would have a calculator with you at all times.
I didn't understand any math at all for the first maybe 11 years of school. I just had no idea what was going on. I was completely confused. Then,
so like basic addition?
Just all of it. I just didn't like any of it.
All right.
But it was fine later. I recovered.
Was it?
It was. I took A-level maths and everything. It was great. I loved it. Kim and JKS both going down. So we were talking about school for some reason. And don't see them recovering this round whatsoever. They had that 1 M4, and I guess Azza's picked that up in the meantime. So if they can keep that alive, that would be good news. That's just very aggressive. It's circling around, holding down that Mac 10. But not able to get the kill yet.
Yeah, Nifty has the Zeus. He's hoping he flies up. It's not going to happen.
Couldn't he just Zeus the ladder when he's on it? It's electricity, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming the ladder is made of some sort of metal, so...
I don't think the game is built to be that realistic.
Yeah, but it would be great, wouldn't it, if you could do that?
Flower pots don't normally take all the damage out of grenades either.
I don't know. Maybe they would.
Okay.
We could do a test if you really want.
No, I'm all right. Nifty and Azza falling all the way back. Another round, it's going to be all tied up for Gambit. Next round is where the buy comes in. Azza can, yeah, he has that M4. He could drop that over perhaps to Jacob or Ustillo. Just help them out a little bit. But they've got to get back to the winning ways, and they're going to do it with light utility and no AWP again. Remember, we saw them picking up that second op so they can kind of really have that stout defense, and they don't have that option anymore. So Renegade's going to have to claw back into it in very tough fashion. Azza's just going to keep the M4, not drop one over so that he can get full armor, he can get the kit, all the nades.
I feel like the way that Gambit are winning some of these rounds is encouraging because it seems like the kind of thing you could replicate to other teams as well. Like, let's say they put 2 men at Ivy or 3.
Yeah.
They walk in, they lose somebody, but they trade it, and they keep trading until it's like a 3-on-3, and then they slow the game down, and they have so much space. Like, now they don't have to worry about every single angle being covered, so they're really good at doing that. And you could probably use that against almost every team in the world. It's not based on really incredibly fancy deep tactics and ridiculous fakes that, you know, require a lot of study of one specific team and how they move. I feel like this could be done to a lot of teams.
Well, you like this. I love this play from Hobbit. Look at him. He's changing things up. He's going to be a bit ballsy, and JKS just gets into cover at the right moment. I think Hobbit missed it. Hobbit still not looking down JKS. He's so lucky. But on the other hand, at the moment, Hobbit is just saying, everyone wait. Now he's going to get a free kill. Just pauses, waits for it. Molotov in towards Connector. Into the B-bomb site we go, and the bomb is right there as well. And Renegade's going to have a tough decision. I think they're already calling for the save.
Wow.
What a high risk, high reward from Hobbit. Just casually walking out upper, but perfect timing for it.
Isn't this just one of the things that makes Counter-Strike such a fun game to watch? The idea that one person can actually just finish a round with one kill just walking in like that makes such a huge difference. And normally if you go for that kind of push, right, it involves you smoke, you flash your way out, and all of those things would have been signals for JKS to realize that something was up, but it just happened with almost no warning at all. So good stuff. And Nifty now going down. Renegades are slightly spiraling out of control here at the end of the first half.
I think actually Gambit can afford to send 2 of these AKs on the hunt. Go for it. Actually, it's a little bit late in the bomb time for this. Doja's going for it with 8 HP just to spam the edge. Hoping that Molotov was going to force someone into the open. It didn't work. Oh, he finds one right at the end. Azza, no need to peek that. He just got a little bit over-eager, didn't he?
I think he wanted to move out of the way of the Ivy lane. Okay. But that exposed him from the other side, so...
Coming through the smoke as well, because Doja didn't even see him. That was well done. 7-6, and that's a beautiful weapon to take away. That's really going to hinder this next buy if they do invest here, and they are. So UMP, MP9, another M4 bought up. Still not great, and this is pretty much going to be the best kind of economy that Renegade's going to have for this whole half. Gambit really took control of it. And that's a perfect call for Hobbit to make that play when they're on that kind of low economy buy, because you're not always going to have smokes in every single choke point. You're not going to be too aggressive without those flashbangs. You're definitely not going to have an AWP, so really nice timing on that decision.
Yeah, absolutely shutting down Renegades in that last round. Their economy already crippled from previously, but it's not getting any better right now. UMP, MP9 in play. I like the aggression in towards main, but see if Adren is going to be ready for it. He's slightly low on health, so that's a big benefit if you're playing with the MP9 here. Shot through the wall from Mo. Can definitely do that.
Oh, nice kill from Adren. Got to get the follow-up, and now Ustillo fights to his death. Mo swings out. Good frag from him. Again, like you mentioned, those trades from Gambit and Doja just waiting patiently, and Hobbit's already close up. This is the Hobbit we like to see. I said he's been a little bit quiet, but now he's engaged. He's being aggressive and active across the map. Really pushing forward into positions. Now, here's a trap. JKS is going to come down the ladder room. Mo is still back at T-mid with the bomb, so if he gets caught, that is going to throw a wrench in the plans. That's a great smoke, but JKS can still come through it. He might take the opportunity in the desperate situation that Renegades is in.
More kills for Mo. He's doing such a good job. The big turnaround there and taking down JKS too. So no surprises this time. 8 rounds for the Gambit team moving into round number 15. They're really back in charge now. They've won, what, the last 5 rounds in a row? It's it's not something that Renegades really seem to know how to stop right now.
It's one of those. It's just another one of those maps where once you get your economy shattered, it's so hard sometimes to really claw yourself back in. You can't just play the standard default way. 6 rounds for Renegades and 3 M4s, again, very low in utility, and it looks like Gambit might just call for a fast pace towards the inner bomb site. JKS going to try and push up around this smoke, spams through, he's going to get pounced upon, almost recovers. Mir down at 1 HP. Look like Renegades want to go for some kind of a fast flank up ladder. No one is rotating inside at the moment. Nifty's on his way now, but it's quite delayed.
Well, Molotov going to force both those players back if Adren can get the space for it. A little bit weird there. No, they're going to use the smoke instead, as seeing the shoulder, but he doesn't want to give up his life here, and if he did, that would certainly compromise the defense in this A-bomb side. Instead, he's going to fall back and try and play it a bit more safely. Docia's just walking this whole way. He just feels like he knows exactly where he is. Azza's still going to win the fight, but that just makes it a 4-on-4. I guess Mir is low on health, but be big for Renegades if they could win this 7th round and just get that on the board at least. Jacob perfectly in the corner. Can't really follow up with that kill, but it's still a 2-on-3. 40 seconds left, and I think Mo has to do pretty much all of the work here. Mir with that AWP, he just wants to cover the bomb once it's down, so we'll see if that's going to be possible or not. He's created the space for it. He can actually get the quick bomb plant. He's planting quite deep into it, which might be a problem for Mir. It means he has to walk even further into the bomb site to try and see if he can stop anyone from defusing it. And he's so worried. He doesn't even want to unscope in case someone's walking behind there and looking for him. Now, with the bomb ticking and everything else, Renegades back in pressure again. A little bit of a lineup there. Mo could have definitely got one of those kills, and now they know where Mir is. The defuse is going to be happening, as you could tell. He's got no way to really stop that from happening. Tries for the really deep Molotov. It's a great idea, but doesn't quite work out. So another round here for Renegades. 7-8 still. I think Gambit did more than they needed to in this first half.
Definitely, but I mean, that's a great final round to win for Renegades, just so you feel like you've accomplished something. Really good recovery. Started getting aggressive towards T-main. Interesting to see Gambit get 8 rounds, and I mean, even Renegades in the defense they were fine having 1 or 2 players in that ladder room every single time. That's usually a pretty big kryptonite to hitting that outer bomb site, but a couple critical round wins for Gambit, a couple critical rounds to get enough damage to decrease the economy. And that's all it takes on the T side sometimes. Switching over, we'll see what Gambit's got on the defense. 8 on T side, I feel, should be enough.
That's my feeling too. I would have said even 6. What I would have been saying, yeah, that's a pretty good run for Gambit. The last 2 rounds there just means they have a big buffer in case they lose this pistol round, which let's just see how that goes. Smoke is already out from the Renegade side, and all they have left is a single flashbang there on Nifty. So let's see how much they can make of it. Mir sees a couple of players instantly going to smoke it off. They've got 2 people waiting, but before that happens, Mo peeks into it, which might have been just a bit too much. Hobbit is going to take down JKS, and Dren with a follow-up dropping Azza, and they're trying to get out. Oh my god, they got slaughtered, all of them here. What happened?
I actually thought that was going to be a small mistake for Mo, and maybe it was. Peeking before that smoke plumed, you wanted to set up that crossfire. Thankfully, Adren is on the hustle. He shifts over, and he makes sure that crossfire coming through the smoke is deadly. Gets that 1 extra kill, and even Mir coming back for the repeat. Great job from Gambit. Deagle's out across the board for Renegades. 5 of them, or 4 of them, excuse me. Nifty's going to save for the AWP. Light armor as well, but no utility. You still actually owe not even getting armor. So only 1 flashbang. These Deagles have got to do something.
Yeah, Train is a decent map for it. You could definitely get some good fights in. Azza. Hard when someone's jumping like that. But doesn't mean there won't be other opportunities. And it's not like Gambit have an infinite amount of grenades in this round. I mean, they have just bought, so eventually they're going to run out.
Now, Mir, as the dedicated Ivy player, calls over Hobbit to drop his smoke. Hobbit has an M4 as well, so let him play gun out at range, but that's going to allow Mir to stick around and re-smoke that when it eventually does clear. Small detail that might have a lot of help to this. There goes the re-smoke towards Ivy. Mo with the opening headshot onto Ustillo boosted up. He didn't even get a chance to respond.
Yeah, he doesn't really stick around because you're sort of weirdly crouched up there, so you can't really be very mobile. So I don't blame him for jumping down. 50 seconds on the clock, and no openings being made right now for Renegades.
And Gambit's fine with giving up a bomb plant. Look at how they're playing that inner bomb site with Doja. They're just saying, listen, just don't die. They need to get into the bomb site. If they attack you, just let them have it. Adren's going to rotate over. Now they're saying, we haven't heard any action outside anymore. Let's get an M4 in here. Now they can play a little bit more aggressively. You can see Doja starting to rotate over. Spots one up top. Awkward battle for the UMP. It is going to win out, and Adren is going to get 2 of them on lower ramp, and that M4 will get salvaged. Famas is upgraded. 10-7 as Gambit hold on after winning the pistol.
And without the bomb plants here, Renegade's gonna have to save one more round. Dozier actually in that hold, just because what you said is absolutely true. But he even held on to the HE and the Molotov. So if they had got down before the backup arrived, he could have probably hit like 2 or 3 people with those grenades, and that would have made it even easier to retake. So just a smart play from the Gambit side in a 3-round lead now. They're looking very good at the moment. And Renegade's just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Oh, that grenade, they're all going to run.
Holy hell.
It's devastating, isn't it?
That sucks. Just holding down the trigger, and it is a slaughter at the inner bomb site. Nades, flames everywhere, bullets all over the place. 11-7 going into the first gun round. Renegades, they need to get going quick. They need to get right on. They need to get started on the right foot. Nifty's going to have that AWP.
Mose, you're all about the math. How much damage did that grenade do? You must have caught it, right?
I didn't actually notice.
Oh,
to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to the actual numbers.
All right. Otherwise, you would have been able to do it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Maybe next time we see a nade like that coming out, you warn me.
All right.
I'll get my Rain Man on.
Where is Sipnix when you need him? 4-round lead. Renegades must know, they should know that they're not going to have very many chances to play around with. I feel like that's a challenge all on its own when you're playing on the T side here. If the other team is close to winning, like you can't even. Otherwise, maybe you can throw some rounds out there and sort of see, oh, let's see how they react to this. Maybe we can play with that later. When your back's against the wall, you really don't have that space.
No, T-side train can just be so demoralizing, can it? Kind of like T-side, well, I can't even really say that anymore. I was going to say T-side nuke the way it used to be, but T-side train certainly is still in that fashion. And if you come back on the T-side of train, like, no one can really mess with that. It's no fun when you're like 5-6 rounds behind on T-side train. Here we go. Utility being used. This could be a timing attack. A little bit late, basically a full rush, at least for Azza. They have all the utility Gambit, but actually Azza's pretty comfortable in that choke point, and they don't commit either. Molotov in. That'll force you still on, or at least force him to waste a smoke. That is a good use of a Molotov.
Yeah, but if Azza had waited, it looked like he would have been rewarded. Walking through the smoke on that side was Adren, so that could have actually been something, but he didn't want to stick around, maybe afraid more grenades would follow. Mir going to go for a bit of a shoulder peek, has to make it back around the corner pretty quickly. And he's going to be fine doing that. He's got no backup behind him, so I'm not sure why he didn't continue back. Now he's in a very dangerous position. Another UMP being called in, but this should be a fight that's going to favor Renegades. They've got so much firepower on the other side, and Gambit, I'm not sure about this hold right now.
I like this position from here, actually. You're right, it is ballsy. The flashbang doesn't work the way Adren wanted, but he gets 1 kill and the dink. That's not bad. Mir can get information in this position. And at some point, he's going to go peek up and check, and it's right now. But it might be, I don't know if he's going to have the call there in time. Now he's going to peek, see absolutely nothing. Hobbit's going to have to rotate inner, but he's waiting for Mo to spot someone out. There's a great shot right through the edge of the wall to the face of Jacob. Mo can actually retreat with the AWP. Doja is closing in at the bottom of ladder as well. He's going to spot the feet. He was expecting a fast drop. But Renegades, there's 20 seconds left, and they are so boxed in. Hobbit is close up. He just needs 1. Just needs to slow this down, and he can't get it. And Mo misses a crucial shot, a chance for Gambit to stay alive.
Yeah, very, very slim one here. 3-on-3. They're really soft on the Renegade side, and that flank is coming in as well. Been happening for a really long time. As you said, Mir walking out of Ivy, and now just obviously talking to the rest of the Gambit team, trying to find the perfect timing for it. Azza is now walking in. He's got all the grenades, so if he dies, he's actually going to give up a Molotov for the enemy team to use. That would be a horrendous turn of events. Ustillo, he's got 1 Molotov, but again, he could get another one. The spray, he doesn't quite connect it, and he has to try and go for it. Already being defused. Does land on top of Doja, but the instant smoke on top. Great team play for Gambit, and round number 12 in the pocket. That was nicely done.
I actually thought that was a very hard-fought battle by Renegades. That was actually pretty cool to watch them just having to fight their way in that fashion and still making it work. And unfortunately, they don't get much out of it because it was a small bonus round. Gambit had 2 UMPs on their team at the start of that round that have both been brought up and upgraded into AK-47. So booming economy, a 12-7 lead, and forcing Renegades into a tough decision if they want to save or go for it here. All advantages in the favor of the Gambit side.
Yeah, they've really done a great job winning, what, the first 4 rounds in this half, and then at the end of the other half, it was like, what, they won 5 out of 6 rounds in the end of it?
Yeah, the last 5 of the last 6.
Yeah, so overall, they've been on a pretty amazing streak here.
Yeah, look at Hobbit being vocal as well during this timeout. 18 kills for Mo, 14 for Adren and Hobbit. Doja not far behind at 11 and 10. On the other side, it's 14 for Ustillo. 12 for Jacob, 11 for JKS. So we have a half buy out of the Renegade side, upgraded pistols, utility as well, so an element of danger to bring into this round. Doja's going to have to be on point.
They could have all had AK armor, but they would always be lacking a lot of grenades. That kind of suggests that they do want to try for some execute in the next round, because otherwise I think they would have kept up the pressure. They had the money to do it.
Doja's really fortunate to get away with only being tagged by 1 bullet, 83 HP on him. Feeling a bit uncomfortable with so many bodies. Adren has moved into ladder room. Doja is here with Mo. Saw this last time though with Hobbit. That AK-47 close up. Renegades was pretty decent at dealing with it. Different position this time for him. But here comes the hit. Here comes the execute.
Yeah, flashbangs. Doja turning around for the first one there. Great double spray down. That's enough at the moment. Molotov there to delay the bomb plant a little bit. Peek comes up, but Nifty taking the face right of Mo. That was a good shot with the deagle. Might actually have a chance now. Nifty continuing up there, but he can't stop Hobbit. And now it's still a 2-on-3. Hobbit on 10 health though, and CSET 75 there, and the deagle on JKS. This can actually be done right now for Renegades. It would be a big chance for them to get back in the game. They've really been struggling here in the second half. Azza trying to find the angle. More grenades raining in. Not going to touch him up on the high ground here. He's got a Molotov as well, but I think it might just die with him. Mir walking very close. He gets a shot back around the corner. And you could tell Hobbit doesn't want to push up, and I don't blame him. He's solo on health. JKS and Adren going to finish that one as well. Looked like they had a big chance to take care of Adren, but they weren't really able to. And they're going to run away anyway. Just unable to recover. But that's losing almost everything in that scenario for Renegades, in spite of winning. So I guess they had the half buy that kind of makes it a little bit better. Yeah. But their economy, they need to get it up and running here on the T side. Still, it's the first round of the second half that's worth celebrating.
I was going to say, if you're down 7-12 in the second half on T side here, you're taking it one step at a time. That is a great entry. It's the kill onto Mo by Nifty, that one dig onto the Opera that really opens everything up. And then even following it with 90 damage on Hobbit, and you could see he just never really felt like getting into the fight. He knew just a single bullet that he takes from anywhere, and he goes down, so never being aggressive. You have a teammate with an AWP as well, so there just wasn't a whole lot of power in that retake. Mir again in this position. We saw it earlier. Last time he called Doja over to throw some nades and be a distraction. This time it's Mo.
With the AWP. No one's seen it yet. They're creeping around the corner. Mir only getting the 1 kill. They're back around again. No further trade coming in, but Mo will take down Azza. That smoke was just not quick enough in front of him. Would have been great if it could have at least covered him and kept him alive. Now JK is trying to repeat what Hobbit was doing earlier. Sneaking in. He does see the player back there, tapping away, but unable to connect. And now this is a very dangerous position for him to be in. Falls back on the low ground. He had to get out of harm's way. Otherwise, he was going to get trapped up there. Grenade going really high for another peek, and a great opening here from JKS. Grenade's back there. Wants to apply even more pressure. He's got to be worried about that AWP on the other side, and peeking into it even while flashed. Creating a bit of space as the bomb goes down. There's another flank coming in once again for the Gambit side. It worked last time, and it's working again. Hobbit taking it down. Jacob. JKS will fall, and it's all on Nifty. Waiting for that low. Oh, without the flashbang, he probably would have had that kill. He definitely saw that person on the low ground, and now on the ladder as well. He's in so much trouble. He misses the first opportunity, goes for a second, and he actually gets that kill, but I still think there should be enough time.
I don't know, Mo's pretty far away. I'm not entirely sure about this.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, there's no chance. Mo had to hustle that whole way forward, and again, Renegades get away with one. Just gets that perfect kill of the player inside the bomb site. And another round, Renegades win without any players surviving. They are really, really being scrappy at the moment. That play from JKS, we saw it work beautifully for Hobbit. That one was a little bit sketchy for JKS, but he still provided the very same opening and the very same pick. Just took a little bit longer. And 12-9, Gambit These are the rounds you're going to look to if you can't close this one out. Just get so frustrated.
How does it happen back-to-back rounds when they seem to be sort of winning and they seem to be in control of the round, Gambit? They just barely run out of time. This time, Mo going to be taking down Ustilo. It's fast-paced and they're getting shut down all across the board right now. Jaken hoping to make some sort of entry happen from behind the E-box, but all it really does is leave the bomb far up on the map. It's a nice attempt at a change of pace, but...
I have to imagine that's a call you make if you believe Gambit is going to be low on economy or low on money. I don't think they were expecting that to encounter that many nades, that many Molotovs and counter flashes and everything. They got obliterated as soon as they come out of that choke point. And for Gambit, that is the breathe easy moment. That is like the sigh of relief. You know they have no money. You are. It's not like you assume that they're broke. It's just they won 2 rounds with no one surviving, and there's just no chance that they can have rifles in this round.
Don't even need the calculators, Moses. They just know.
No, throw them out.
4-round gap. It doesn't really seem like that much, but when you factor in the economy for the Renegade side, it does paint a pretty good picture for Gambit. Mia jumping about, taking a bit of damage, but they can't chase him down, and there's going to be a follow-up as well. This is all looking too good, and a nice spray from Doja. Gambit are well on their way.
They haven't really put a whole lot of pressure. It seems like they've had a couple times with Mir where they've applied enough pressure to make him fall back, but they haven't really attacked him over towards Ivy. This time they do find the pick. And Gambit's going to know both of them are there. That's why you see Hobbit encircling from behind, the boost up behind the towers. And actually, even Hobbit getting picked off at range. Gambit getting sloppy in this round is not good. You don't even want to take these deaths at this stage just because you had the advantage of economy, and that can dwindle very quick. But also, Mo tagged up, Doja down to 45. These Deagles can still do some work.
Listening to a bit of radio, waiting for the next people to come up the stairs, and somehow they win the fight against Doja. This is kind of unforgivable for Gambit.
This is silly.
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking at here. More fights and almost that kill coming through. He actually has a grenade. He can find the kill. He doesn't use it, and Mo will get him down instead. So slight bit of recovery here. Ustilo now about to be flanked. Pulls out the AK-47, gets the kill on the Dren. And can he guess where Mo is coming from? Again, he has the HE grenade. That's enough. Didn't see him on the high ground, so he's very exposed right now without knowing it. A bit of a tap there, the grenade. No, he's still thinking about it. And Mo on the other side, he's feeling very exposed. He knows he's visible from every single angle. A 2-on-4, 1 from Renegades, a quad kill from Ustilo, and now... I don't know what Gambit has just done, but this is bad news.
They deserve to lose that, and that's going to cost them a lot. This is a 2-on-5, Anders.
2-on-5 even, my god.
Yep, and they're just, like, why are these fights happening? I mean, Doja is kind of in a tough spot. You don't necessarily expect them to clear that, but these all one-on-ones. All individual from Gambit. Not a single time in that 5-on-2 were 2 players together to take a fight at the same time. That's frustrating to even watch. Timeout from Renegades. Talk things over. I mean, that was a lifeline, right? That's like the life raft thrown in to help you get out of the water. There's really no more chances after this for Renegades if they can't close it on this. And if you're Gambit, you need to kind of settle yourselves down.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing, obviously they just want to bounce right back, and you can tell they've maybe forced up in this round. They've got the Mag 7 and a little bit extra, but I feel like if they lose this next round and the economy runs out, suddenly the stress of knowing that you threw that round away.
It's so wild to think about. We saw it when a Renegades was on the CT side, how difficult it is to regain economic control if it gets shattered on your CT side, and Gambit's just done that. They've just given Renegades such a massive opportunity to steal this map away right at the end.
But jumping around inside a main, that could have been scary. A grenade did land on Ustilo, but otherwise... nobody encountering anybody yet. There is still that AWP in play for Mo, which is going to be good news.
Here we go. Doja. He's going to need backup. They've let him play largely alone for a lot of this. He only has an SMG. Now, he does have a Molotov to slow things down, but someone's going to have to get in there quick, and he's going to hold on to it. That is a bold play. Mo is on the hustle right now. He's coming inside with that AWP. He's going to be smoked out, though. This is going to be tough. And Doja, he's creeping up for a mid-range fight, but he doesn't necessarily have the weaponry for it. He's got to stay relatively close to this bomb train. And Mo's going to have to cover above. Molotov going to get dropped into the choke point. Great win from Mo. That's critical. Here comes the nade. Beautiful damage with that as well. Muffs the Molotov, but Mo is going to do more. Doubled up, and I think he saved the day.
Yeah, what a huge recovery. Good timing on getting into that B-bomb side. Jacob's taking down one, but surely they're not going to lose another 2 versus 5 in one best of 1. That just can't really happen. Jacob holding from behind. He has got a Molotov, and there are no more smokes on the other side, so if he could have stayed alive, I actually think he could have done an enormous amount of damage to the Gambit team. It doesn't work out. It's 14 rounds now in favor of Gambit. Renegades, Moses, they had the life raft, as you said.
I think it's punctured now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put too many people in. Sometimes you got to leave someone behind.
Who would you leave behind on this Renegades team?
I don't know.
Kind of a cruel question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did throw you under the bus a little bit there.
Yeah, that's. I feel like. I mean, it's tempting to say Nifty. He used to play console COD. That's, you know.
Yeah, you found a way out.
It's hard to forgive him for that.
Yeah.
Although he's great now, so I guess. Converted him.
Nifty is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
14-10, guns are out for the Gambit side of the defense, and Renegades had a chance there. I think that was the last one that they really have, and
maybe they didn't want it. The chance they thought, you know what?
This one's too easy. Let's go a little bit. Let's make it a little bit harder.
We didn't really deserve that. we'll give it back.
Yeah, I'll hand it right back to you. Mir, he's gotten tagged every single time he's made that play, and yeah, he's never fallen. That doesn't seem to be the safest information gathering technique that he thinks it is.
I feel like it's maybe if someone tried to peek with an AWP, you would. Oh my god. That's a beautiful return from Jacob with the Deagle now sneaking up. Nifty does go down. Amir picking up the AWP and falling back around the corner again. Just waiting for it, but Jacob continues with the Deagle. Takes his face right off.
Why are they better with Deagles than they are with AKs?
I try not to ask these questions, Moses. I just accept it. Whenever I see Glaive getting like a triple with the CSET 75, I just think, yeah, okay.
It makes sense. Well, no one's covering the inner bomb side. Adren's on the rotation over, and he might come into this stack if he tries to grab some information out towards upper. Actually, they just busted it up as he rolls in. The bomb is picked up on Jacob. Yeah, they're going to hit this inner sight. No smoke, no nades. You got to run the gauntlet. And here's Adren. I think he's going to spot it a little bit too late, though. One's already crossed. He's still out in the open. That's at least allowed Jacob to get into the bomb site, and they've got to be careful. JKS at high train can be dangerous.
Damage being output here from the Norwegian player, and you're still... Oh my god, what? He just sees Doja booking it to the B bomb side. If he had got caught then, that would have been the end of that flank probably, but instead now, it's got great potential. Headshot coming through, and JKS making no noise as he walks underneath there. She's still over the one, and they're jumping up on the train right in front. The bomb is being defused down there. Can anybody stop it? They've got the kills, but they just can't stop that defuse from happening. Doja managed to sneak his way out. Remember, he was the guy almost being caught in C-Connector. 15-10. What a round.
What a Doja round. Just running right past the lurker, watching the flank coming in, and then just running straight to the bomb and defusing it.
He was on a mission, wasn't he?
Yeah, just never stopping. Great job with the Deagles, though, again for Renegades. Just another very weird round. And even at the end here, I mean, almost getting far too tunnel visioned. Like JKS, you could see the idea behind his play, right? But
I don't think they were expecting for Doja to just run to the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, far too tunnel vision on getting those kills at the back of the inner yard, and not enough on the actual objective of winning the round. Here's Doja, utility out, and he just wants to live. Jacob brought down low by the HE, down to about half, and Molotov to stop any kind of push. So another man advantage for Gambit, and no chance of Renegades. Nothing they gained from it, no chance of equalizing very quickly here. So backs against the wall, Renegades.
Yeah, hoping that they can get a boost here to try and get back into it. I feel like this is very rarely rewarded, but I can't blame them for trying when they're this far behind. Need a bigger life raft, Moses, to get back into it.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
An even bigger one. One that is unsinkable in some fashion. I think we tried to make one of those ones, and it didn't really work out.
Yeah, I heard stories about that. That's a great soundtrack.
Does it? Jacob is very patient, but the clock is working against them, and they're not going to be finding any kill like that soon. I feel like we're reaching that sort of a new level of desperation here on the Renegade side. They can sort of feel it coming in Guess so can we. Dren spotting out a couple of people up there. 30 seconds now. They've got to make their move, and not going to find any entry there. JK has gone down already, and as they're going to fall, and almost a headshot. Well, it was, but almost a kill on Jacob. That would have been enough, and he's alone with 19 seconds in a 1-on-4. Jumping down and instantly gets dropped by Doja. 16-10 in favor of Gambit, making them 1-1 in the group so far. Moving on past Renegades. Good job on them. They've
got to be happy. It didn't look clean. It wasn't necessarily all that convincing. They had that critical mistake at the end and a couple smaller ones throughout, but I think for a team that's trying to kind of return to former glory, this is, you know, just a nice necessary step that you take. You know, beating a Renegades team that is good but not great, and just kind of, you know, improving slowly over time. As I mentioned, the longer they have Blade behind them, I think they're going to get better and better, and this is just kind of a good start in this event.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable match. I mean, we'll just forget about that 1-2 versus 5, I think. And
that was ugly. That really pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. That made me so angry.
Erase it from history.
I was very tilted.
But yeah, apart from that, they were looking good, and just I think that especially that T side made me really happy. Great trade fragging and great fundamental Counter-Strike.
Especially because they started into it slow, didn't they? They started into it very, very slow, and they kind of came alive towards the end and figured it out. You know, and that's cool to see, overcoming adversity as well. I mean, the performance out of Mo. Obviously, 27 kills for him. That Dren was the big one for me. He was kind of my selling point on predicting Gambit to win. It was just because of how good a Dren looked yesterday, and he delivered as well with 22.
Yeah.
So the stars of Gambit looking better at this event than we've seen previously.
Absolutely, they are. Now we've got Freya with us, so one of the players.
Thank you, guys. Yes, I'm actually managed to grab a Dren from the winning side, Gambit. So that was a very important win for you guys to get under your belt. What was the team's mentality like coming off of the loss yesterday into this game?
We didn't focus on the loss that we lost yesterday. So we tried to find our game on this tournament because we felt a little bit shaky on the first game. We didn't do our game, our strats, what we prepared for. And yeah, today we just really wanted to focus on our game and how we're playing that, and just tried to find our game, and that worked.
Yeah, because last time you faced Renegades, which was a couple of months ago, you actually won against them. Did this give you more confidence coming into this match?
We don't look that we won last time because team can prepare well and they can boot camp and they can beat us. Every team can beat us right now. So yeah, we didn't look at the previous games. So we're just looking like the future games or future like right now.
So just going back to the first half of that match, it seemed like round 10 was a point where it kind of turned for you. Do you feel like you kind of found your momentum here?
First half was kind of lost for the first like 15 minutes. After that, we just tried to play slow and just find our game. And somehow we managed to win like 8 rounds.
As Anders and Moses just said, you had an incredible game. What enables this strong performance?
I don't know, just maybe focus on game and that's all.
I just briefly want to talk about your new addition, Mer. He was added to the team, I believe, 2-3 months ago. What did you hope that he would bring to the team? I
hope he's going to bring us like more firepower, and he needs like more confidence right now because he needs more experience playing with us. So this is the main thing for him right now.
So just looking to the future, to tomorrow's game, you're in a much stronger position with that one win under your belt. What are you going to be focusing on as a team?
We're just going to play like we played today and just try to focus on our game.
Thank you very much. We're going to head back over to the analyst desk.
Thank you so much. That was Freya, the Slayer, and Adren. And Chad, you're nodding along. You feel like Adren was speaking the truth there.
Yeah, especially about Mia, right? In the sense that he was the best player in Vega Squadron when he was on that roster, but coming over to Gambit, I don't think he's met his full potential yet. And you have to consider that Vega Squadron, they weren't a top dog in that region, even though they did have impact at the major. Now he's playing in a team with 1.6 legends like Adren, like Dozier, obviously Hobbit and Mo. They won the major last year. So these are his idols in some regards. So maybe, you know, a bit of nerves, has to have a bit more confidence, play a little bit more brazenly. We might get an even better looking Gambit.
Because he's not without the ability.
And
it's a conversation, of course, we'll have when we do see Gambit's next game. We want to focus more on train and how things did transpire there. Because, my goodness, as always, get Renegades close but no cigar, Jacob.
There was a lot of times where chat were outbursting, you know, They don't deserve to win.
Doesn't sound like me.
No, that sounds like you. There was a lot of times where you felt, or I felt too, by watching them. The Renegades made some silly mistakes, some mistakes that a team on their level and a team with their experience not necessarily should make. Individual plays as well, nifty, not shoulder peeking when it's needed, and in general, just another testament to how Renegades have fallen from. It was never like Renegades being a good team. It was never like Renegades being a top 5 team in the world, but there was potential, and you actually started to believe in them when they brought in JKM and had a good run in the ESL Pro League season for two seasons ago. For now, though, it's just been a complete team in disarray, and once again, they just show against that a team like Gambit is a team that you should be able to beat in current state if you want to do anything in a major like this.
Sure, if they wanted a chance to be one of those teams we considered on the cusp, then this is one of those games that should be a gimme. Now they drop down to the 0 and 2, and they have to do a reverse sweep within the Swiss system, right? Which is not any easy feat when the likes of Rogue are firing and they're showing that they can be competitive. Spirit doing better than we were expecting as well. It's a tougher task for these guys moving forward. Now, I just wanted to point out something here that I think that game should have been closed out a lot quicker by Gambit. You still had a couple of nice rounds there to keep them in towards that inner bomb site. Some questionable decisions by Gambit as well. Not going for retakes versus pistols. It's like, what's going on here, guys? You can probably finish this one now.
Daps was watching backstage and he was actually saying, you know, in retake servers, it actually kicks you if you don't. If you if you do what they're doing, you get kicked from the retake server.
I think people may have seen what we were talking about with the unorthodox style as well. They just play look, I say it and I make it seem like it's every single round. It's not every single round. It's just more often than not that you do see them playing a little bit more reserved and finding kills in scenarios which most teams necessarily would be maybe up close. They'd have a different setup.
Kind of reminiscent of an old Tyloo. The way Tyloo used to play their CT sides. Do you remember when they used to play like super passive on site?
Oh, like on Cobblestone, for example, that setup they had on B.
Statue and Coop.
The plan was not to be there. You know,
yes.
See what happens.
Maybe they left it open. Anyway, head to head. Let's bring it up because it's brought to you by Predator, which is in cinemas September 14th. We do have Nifty and Mo, and you talked about. I mean, I'm so glad Mo was brought up in that head to head, Jacob, because he had a what do you call it in Australia, Chad? A ball terror?
Yeah, that one works.
It's good to see, and he had one yesterday as well, so it's really a good sign for Gambit this time around that Mo is fired up, because he needs to be a catalyst behind his team. We haven't seen Adrian, we haven't seen Hobbit play up to the potential that they've had in a while, so if they can't do it, then Mo has to be the guy. I mean, from what Gambit have done so far, losing an OT game to Tyloo, they should have won, and now winning against Renegades fairly comfortable, makes me and gives me a sense that this this Gambit team have a decent chance of making it to the next stage of the major.
Yeah, I just had the thought then, which has just come to me, and I don't know why it took so long, but the biggest brain was not in the server, and that was obviously Blade, right? That two teams without a dedicated, well, I'm not saying Nifty's not dedicated, but a traditional in-game leader. I hope we don't completely move away from that. I'm still a purist in that regard. I would like if we still had like a strong in-game leader in the server, but Blade, that's the type of team that he can read like a book.
Yeah, and he certainly did. And Gambit do take the win. We'll give you the updated standings now for our second day here at the FACEIT Major. And you can see where that's left us. A couple of teams already locked in themselves. That 2-0, you can see NIP, Vega Squadron, Team Liquid, and Astralis are sitting at 2-0 now. And we're heading into that 0-1 with 0-2 now for Renegades.
Yeah, just in case people have only joined us now, tomorrow when the seeding is done with the Swiss with a twist, we won't pronounce the name, it sounds like something else. Basically, they will, however they've fared so far in the tournament, and their opponents will reseed them.
Yeah.
Do you want to say the name of it?
Buckhole.
Oh, you've actually made it worse.
He made it much worse.
Yes, he made it worse. Buckholt's system, it's a mastermind himself came up with the system. Basically, as Chad says, we will have them reseeded once we get those 2 games played for everyone. So you play according to the success of the opponents that you beat or lost to. Still, let's have a little look. Epics.gg, of course, a quick reminder, one of the sponsors that you can go ahead and get the FACEIT London digital cards, and you can collect, trade, and share your favourite CSGO stars. All right, we're going to take a break. North are now stepping into the ring versus Team Spirit, and this is a loser's game. Who's going to go 0-2? We'll find out after the break.